You know that feeling? When everyone, and I mean everyone, from your well-traveled aunt to that friend who's never left his hometown, tells you not to do something. Their voices pile up in your head, a chorus of worry and worst-case scenarios. For me, that something was the Philippines. It's dangerous. Be careful. It's so poor there. Aren't you worried about getting sick? I heard the traffic is a nightmare. They painted a picture with broad, fearful strokes, a monochrome of risk and uncertainty. I almost listened. I almost booked a ticket somewhere else, somewhere safer, more predictable. But something in me, a tiny, stubborn voice, said, "Go see for yourself." And so, with a knot of anxiety in my stomach and a head full of warnings, I stepped off the plane into the humid Manila night. This is the story of why that stubborn voice was the best guide I ever had. This is why I'm so glad I didn't listen. The first thing that hits you isn't the heat, though that comes a close second. It's the sound. Manila doesn't whisper. It sings, it shouts, it honks a chaotic symphony. Jeepneys, those incredible kaleidoscopic kings of the road, painted with everything from flaming dragons to images of Jesus, rattle and roar. Their drivers hanging out the side, calling out destinations in a rapid-fire cadence. Pasay, Makati, Cubao! It's a language of its own. And the smell. It's a wild mix of diesel fumes, the sweet, smoky scent of barbecuing pork skewers from a street vendor, and the faint, salty tang of the ocean breeze cutting through it all. My first instinct, fed by all those warnings, was to tighten my grip on my bag, to put my guard up. This was the chaos I'd been warned about. But then I looked around. I saw a woman effortlessly balancing a huge basket of fruit on her head, laughing with a friend. I saw a group of school children in pristine uniforms, their smiles wide and genuine as they shared a bag of chips. I saw life, loud and vibrant and utterly unconcerned with my trepidation. My taxi ride from the airport was the first lesson. Yes, the traffic is legendary. Cars, motorcycles, jeepneys all move in a seemingly lawless, fluid dance. It looks like madness, but there's a method to it. It's a negotiation, a constant, unspoken communication between drivers. A honk isn't always anger. Often it's just a "I'm here," a gesture, a nod, a flash of the headlights. It's a language of the road. And sitting in that taxi, inching past markets overflowing with tropical fruit and streets alive with people, I felt my anxiety begin to melt, replaced by a thrilling sense of anticipation. This wasn't a place to be feared, it was a place to be experienced. I decided to dive in head first. I skipped the insulated hotel tour and found a small, family-run guest house in a neighborhood where tourists were a novelty. This is where I met the first of many angels. The family who ran it, the Santoses, treated me not as a customer, but as a long-lost cousin. On my first morning, Mama Santos, a formidable woman with a heart of gold, sat me down at their kitchen table. "You eat?" she said, not really asking, and before I could answer, a plate appeared in front of me. It was a mountain of garlic rice, a perfectly fried egg with a runny yolk, and something called tocino, sweet, cured pork that caramelized at the edges. This was breakfast, a meal called silog. It was simple, it was delicious, and it was served with such genuine warmth that any remaining walls I had built up just crumbled. They taught me my first words. Salamat. Thank you. Magandang umaga. Good morning. Their children, shy at first, soon became my giggling guides, showing me the best place to buy sweet mangoes and how to properly drink from a coconut. The warnings about danger began to feel like a distant, ridiculous echo. This wasn't danger. This was generosity in its purest form. Eager to see beyond the city, I took a bus south to a place called Bicol. The journey was an adventure in itself, winding through emerald-green rice terraces and past volcanoes that looked like they belonged on another planet. My destination was a tiny coastal village, a dot on the map, known for one thing: whale sharks. Again, the warnings came back. Aren't those things dangerous? They're sharks. But here, they are called butanding, and they are gentle giants. Before sunrise, I was on a small outrigger boat, bouncing over waves that turned pink with the rising sun. The rules were strict. No sunscreen, no touching, keep your distance. This was their home. We were the visitors. And then, I saw it. A dark shadow beneath the turquoise water, growing larger and larger until the sheer scale of it took my breath away. It was the size of a bus. We slipped into the water, and there I was, floating mere feet away from the largest fish in the ocean. It moved with a slow, majestic grace, its huge mouth open, filtering plankton. It wasn't scary. It was profoundly peaceful. It was a moment of awe that connected me to the raw, beautiful power of nature. I looked into its placid eye, and it just went on its way. There was no fear, only a mutual, silent respect. It was a complete rewrite of everything I thought I knew about the wild. But the Philippines isn't just about its natural wonders. It's a nation of over 7,000 islands, and each one has a different heartbeat. I found mine on a tiny island in Palawan called Port Barton. To get there, you take a jeepney on a road that's more pothole than pavement, winding through jungles and past sleepy water buffalo. Then, a small boat. There's no ATM. The electricity runs only a few hours a day. This, I thought, is the remote poverty I was warned about. But I saw no poverty of spirit. I stayed in a simple bamboo hut on the beach, my front yard a curve of white sand and water so clear I could see starfish on the bottom. The village was a community. In the evenings, everyone gathered on the beach. Kids played volleyball with a net strung between two palm trees. Fathers mended fishing nets. Mothers cooked giant pots of seafood stew over open fires. One night, a local man named Jomar, with a guitar that had seen better days, started playing. Others joined in. They sang folk songs, their voices harmonizing under a blanket of a million stars. They waved me over, handed me a bottle of local beer, and taught me the chords. We couldn't understand each other's languages, but we understood the music. We understood the shared laughter. That connection, that raw human joy under the vast, starry sky, was richer than any five-star hotel experience. It was a lesson in what truly matters. And the food. Oh, the food. I had been warned about that too. Be careful of the street food, they said. You'll get sick. I decided to be careful but brave, and it was the best decision I made. I followed my nose. I ate sisig from a sizzling plate at a cramped roadside stall, a glorious, crunchy, spicy mix of chopped pig's face and liver, topped with a raw egg. It was divine. I tried balut, the infamous fertilized duck egg. Yes, it was strange, but the old man selling it laughed with me as I tried it, his eyes twinkling. It was a rite of passage, and his joy in my attempt was worth any hesitation. I ate mangoes so sweet and juicy they ruined all other mangoes for me forever. I drank fresh buko juice, straight from the coconut, every day. Not once did I get sick. My rule was simple: eat where the locals are eating. If there's a crowd, the food is good and fresh. The flavors of the Philippines are a fearless combination of sour, salty, sweet, and spicy. It's a cuisine that reflects the people. Bold, generous, and full of surprise. There was one day, towards the end of my trip, that encapsulated it all. I was on a motorcycle, exploring a remote part of Siargao Island, a place known as the surfing capital, but with a lush, mysterious interior. I took a wrong turn and found myself on a dirt path that became smaller and smaller until it was just a trail. My phone had no signal. The old fears tried to creep in. You're lost. This is how it happens. Just then I heard laughter. I followed the sound and came upon a small clearing where a group of farmers were taking a break from harvesting coconuts. They looked up, surprised to see a lost foreigner on a motorbike. I must have looked worried. One of them, his face weathered by sun and smile lines, walked over. "Problem?" he asked. I gestured, trying to explain I was lost. He simply smiled, nodded, and said, "Come. Eat." He didn't ask for anything. He didn't see a target. He saw a person who needed help. He brought me to their nipa hut, and his wife brought out a small plate of rice and fish. They had very little, but they offered everything. We sat in silence, sharing a meal, communicating through gestures and smiles. After, his son hopped on his own bike and motioned for me to follow. He led me all the way back to the main road, a 20-minute drive, and then with a wave and a bright, "Goodbye, sir," he turned around and went home. No payment asked for or expected. It was just kindness. Pure, simple, human kindness. Flying home, looking out the window as the islands faded into the blue, I didn't feel like I was leaving a vacation spot. I felt like I was leaving a part of my family. The warnings I received weren't just wrong. They were a shield that would have prevented me from feeling the incredible warmth of this place. They were a filter that would have colored my experience with fear instead of wonder. The world is full of voices telling us to be careful, to stay safe, to stick to the well-trodden path. And sometimes, that advice is good. But sometimes, the most beautiful rewards lie just on the other side of that fear. The Philippines taught me to listen less to the noise of the world and more to the quiet curiosity of my own heart. It taught me that true travel isn't about seeing safe, familiar things from a distance. It's about leaning in, getting a little lost, and allowing yourself to be humbled by the generosity of strangers. It's about trading preconceptions for real, human connection. So if anyone ever tells you not to go to the Philippines, to be careful, to choose somewhere easier, I hope you remember this. I hope you smile, thank them for their concern, and then go book your ticket anyway. Your own story is waiting there, and I promise you, it's one you'll be glad you didn't miss.